Jayden Daniels the Heisman. Give Jayden Daniels the Heisman. Dude gets hurts his ribs. Oklahoma. Yeah, I saw that. Hurts his ribs. Keep me involved. Keep me up to date with that one, Pooh. But Jayden Daniels deserves the Heisman. Or at least he better be in more conversations than anybody in the country. All he does, when he got hurt, he threw for 120 yards and scored 2 touchdowns. What a performance by Jayden Daniels. Today, didn't throw the ball. We talked about this all week. Here are the stats if you're listening on podcast. We talked about this all week, that this was going to happen, that LSU was going to take the air out of the ball. 15 of 21, 259 yards, and he had 15 carries for 130 yards. He went off. Logan Diggs, 134 yards on the ground, but didn't stop Brady Cook from throwing for 411, but you have 2 takeaways. Actually, 2 takeaways on him throwing picks. One of them is a pick 6 at the end by Major Burns. And then you have the fumble that should have been a takeaway. You got to follow on it. Massive game, a must-win, and you prevail. Harold Perkins getting a pick, Major Burns with the pick 6. You defeat a top 25 team on the road. Now, 5 of the last 6 games that you will have are at home. And I'm going to tell you, you're better than Auburn. Auburn is hot trash. You're better than Florida. You're better than Army. The only other 2 games that are worth the shit, these guys have already teed it off, I'm assuming, in Aggie land. We got a lot to discuss here tonight. Everybody do us a favor, though, by hitting the like and share. Share to all those social media groups. Share to all of those social media pages. Defensively, I know that we made some stops. But, Pooh, can you but let's look at this. Let's look at the Missouri stats because we're going to talk a lot about LSU. Brady Cook went 30 of 47 for 411 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Cody Schrader, 8.8 yards per carry. He was killing us when they were running the football. Why they did not elect to continue to run the football is beyond my comprehension. But Missouri would have 21 carries for 116 yards. Luther Burden went nuclear, like we kind of thought that he would do. 11 catches, 141 yards. Theo Weiss, 4 catches, 80 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 players from Missouri had catches for 411 and 2 scores. But Brady Cook did have 2 fumbles and 2 picks. You did enough. Look, you did enough. I don't – a win is not going to stop me personally from it's not going to stop me personally from continuing to rip on this defense. It can't, because you got a long way to go. But you have 2 teams in Florida and Auburn that cannot keep up with you. They can't keep up with you. Oklahoma, wow. Oklahoma beats Texas 34-30. Wow. Oklahoma's for real, dude. They are for real, man. They are for real. So, yeah. Comments. If you want to comment, you can comment in on the show. You can. You know what it is. It's a post-game show. Everybody hits the like and share. Joe DeLeon is 0-2 already. He is. I'm 1-1. As Drewski would say. He is. let's go through this game, though. Let's go through this game. You started off a little slow offensively, and you were down 22-7. The play of the game, without shadow of a doubt, regardless of, and look, the officiating crew tonight was horrendous. They were booty cheeks. They were ass water. The officiating crew was the worst I've seen in a long time. But on the fourth defensive possession, on 3rd and 5, Harold Perkins gets the pick, completely changed the game for LSU. From that point on, hold on one second. Send in your super chats. From that point on, you completely changed the game and momentum. Diggs would go for 8. He had 4 carries where he would get a total of 20 yards or 20 yards plus. He had a 22-yard run, a 7-yard run, a 4-yard run, a 3-yard run, and then Taylor would get in the end zone on a play action from Jayden Daniels. Defensively, really and truthfully, they had some drops that if they would have converted on, probably would have made your defense look a lot worse. But look at this, okay? You give up 22 points, or you give up 14 points in the second half. Like, let me just say this now. Look at the top. If you're on the screen, LSU only gave up 14 points defensively in the second half. That won you the football game. Bottom line. So as bad as they looked in the first half, giving up 25 points, after the Harold Perkins interception, guys, you only gave up 14. You only gave up 14. That completely changed the momentum and game for you. Jayden Daniels comes out. So look, LSU was about to convert on their 8th drive. JD5 gets the TD, but you have the holding call on Kamarian Pimpton. Why we have Kamarian Pimpton in the block, I don't fucking understand it. Jayden Daniels gets hurt. Nussmeier, I'm just glad he didn't turn the football over. You missed a field goal there. But look, it is what it is. It is what it is there. The second phase of when this game completely changed, offensively, Jayden Daniels comes back. He gets a 14-yard run on 3rd and 7. First down. Neighbors goes for 35. Taylor gets a catch for 6. Neighbors is underthrown in the end zone because Jayden is hurting. On 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3. Jayden Daniels goes 35 yards in a run for a tutty. Guys, you can make the argument. You can make the argument right now that Jayden Daniels is the best player in college football. Without him, I don't know if you win, man. I really don't. Gets hurt, doesn't matter. I know this is Paulsworthy, and producer Pooh is going to really get after me here. That's what you call having big guts. Big nuts. Pause. There's the Paulsworthy comment. He is arguably the best player in college football. And you got Rudy Poos out here wanting to put Brock Bowers in this motherfucker. Oh, Brock Bowers needs Heisman consideration. Says who? He can't do what Jayden does. Goes down and scores, you take the lead. He wouldn't be stopped after that either. Now, at the end of the game, with a new center in Chester, which Marlon Martinez looked like, I'm just going to call it what he is, looked like Dookie at center. But just throwing this out there, you know that Chester came in and looked flawless. The freshman from Georgia, Chester, number 79, comes in and looks flawless. End of the game, though, when you need to put it away, come on. I did think that LSU did some different things defensively. They played a very strong cover two. I had not seen LSU play cover two really all year. That's what they ran in the second half. That's all that they ran in the second half was cover two. I thought Mason Smith had a really good second half as well. And I know that the sack probably should have been a face mask, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't get called. You get a stop there. Second half defensively, I know we want to talk about the first half. I get it. But, guys, I will give up 14 points a half every single week. Every single week, I will give up 14 points a half. That's what you held Missouri to in the second. So I know they look like ass cheeks in the first. I can't defend them. Brady Cook went off. Luther Burden was killing you. But in the second half, when you can stop a team like that, good on them. By the way, they're about to go down and score, okay? And Major Burns makes a tackle for you where you could have made a defensive stand. And then Whit Weeks just got absolutely obliterated. Yeah, I have not ripped on Major Burns. I thought that he looked bad in coverage at times, which he has. But the pick six, I mean, guys, it won you the game. Literally. Pooh Bear says that people owe him an apology. Well, they going to love his ass. By the way, did you see my tweet? I think this shit's funny. People probably won't think it's funny, but I think it's funny. This is what I said when he picked it off, Pooh. Major Burns be like, if you saw me. By the way, he's got to be careful, though. He's got to be careful because he came over to the sideline. If you saw Brian Kelly talking to him there at the end, he was flipping off the student section for Missouri. I mean, it was what it was. It was what it was. So, yeah. These are the stats in the second half. I don't know, Pooh, I don't know how I can bring this to you, but I got sent it from LGZ. In the second half, LSU outscored Missouri 32-14. Total yards were 325 to 256. LSU third down defense went 2 for 7, getting off the field. Time of possession, you lost. And you had 2 sacks. Jayden Daniels in the second half went 10 of 15 for 2 touchdowns, 189 yards, and no picks. Rushing the football, you had 136 rushing yards in the second half. Thank you to our man LGZ. Biggie Bull says, my DBU pride hurt with this third and long conversation or conversions. Yeah, I mean, look, and thank you, Biggie, for the super chat. You guys can send in your super chats, and we'll get your comments up here. I'm with you, especially in the first half. I don't really have I don't know what to say, but here's what I do know. Okay, Biggie, here's what I do know. The smartest move in probably Matt House's career, somebody had to tell him this. Guys, they were running cover 2. They're running a version, what it looked like a Tampa 2. I know RG3 brought it up in the broadcast, but they found something with that. They found something in running a cover 2. I don't know if that's a Pete Jenkins thing. I don't know what that is. Have no clue. But they found something there. I like what they did at times in the defensive line in the second half. Got a lot more pressure, got a lot more tackles for loss. They changed things up defensively in the second half, man. They gave up some yards. They gave up 256 yards in the second half, but I don't know what else to say, right? Like, I'll take 14 points all the live long day. I'll take it all the live long day. Connor says that Yates needs to start from here on out. I agree with that. He looked fantastic at times. And you know what? Even when he got beat, he was there to make the tackle. He was there to make the tackle. So I like him a lot. Jordan says, who would you give the game ball to? Jayden Daniels. Like this is, guys, listen to me. Listen to your boy. There is nobody in the country, in my opinion, playing better than Jayden Daniels right now. Nobody. Pooh, can we, what was it, 259? Let's see. He had 259 through the air. And what was it, 130 on the ground? Wasn't it? So he had 389 yards and 4 scores. Hurt. Battered. Now, let me say this too. We talked about this on Monday. I asked Carter. I forget who we brought in to the show on Tuesday. I think it was Blaine Crane. I asked him. Nobody agreed with me. Nobody. Wednesday, Pooh, I don't remember. Pooh might know more than who I had on. Zach Nagy. Now, Zach was the only one that somewhat agreed with me. This right here is how I think you won the game, by giving your defense more time. In the first half, you held the ball and kept the ball away from Missouri, holding on to it for 18 minutes, okay? Logan Diggs having 24 carries for 134 yards. Josh Williams had 2 carries for 10 yards. Yeah, whatever. But you play keep away. Pooh, can we go to the total team stats? I wonder what the total time of possession was. Now, I know in the second half, LSU did not win the time of possession, but it wasn't by much. 32 minutes. You played some form of keep away, man. The penalties are alarming, though. By the way, can we talk about this bullshit? Pooh, if you ever, on the third down when you kicked the field goal, when Ramos kicked the field goal, LSU's first possession in the second half offensively, Ramos got the field goal. Will Campbell got a penalty for blocking someone out of bounds. Let me just say this. If you, as an offensive lineman, can drive somebody to the sideline and you can continue to drive him, that has no business. Will Campbell in college just Michael Orred somebody. That's true, but have you ever seen that called? Pooh, and how much would Pooh watches more football than anybody in this motherfucker? Have you ever seen that called? Because I've never seen that called, especially in that position. But in reference to who gets the game ball, thank you. Special teams, when a gunner goes out of bounds and you continue to block him. But I mean, Jesus H. Christ, warn him. And then how else? Let me ask how else. For both sides, both teams clapping to try to get players' attention, and they throw the flag for whatever the fuck they're throwing the flag on. LSU in the second half, they should not have. One of those 7 points should have been off the board for Missouri in the second half for this reason. They said that, who was it? Was it Yates or somebody was clapping? He was trying to get Major Burns' attention, and they throw a flag. How else are you supposed to get his fucking attention? You want to send him a carrier pigeon? You want him to Sage Ryan, thank you. What the fuck do you want him to do? Do you want him to moon him? Do you want him to start moaning across the field like your name is Sexy Red? What the fuck do you want him to do? You know. But bottom line, what the fuck? I'm going to catch some shit off that sexy red comment. Biggie Bull sends a $4.99 super chat, says, me and former players be looking at these third downs. We need these stops somehow, some way, somehow, press man or do something. Biggie Bull, did you play at LSU, my man? But yeah, it's not, Brandon Taylor was the guest on Tuesday. We brought Brandon on here. Brandon even brought up that he thought that they should run a little cover two. Like, you have a guy that's played in the NFL, was a part of the 11 defense. Even he brought it up. Hey, man, Blake, there are some variations. Like, if you're going to play off, at least play cover two so your guys and your corners can come up to tackle to some degree. And he was right. He was right, and you made the big stop. Thank you, Biggie, for the super chat. Jason says, we went for 2 to go up by 3 after the TD in the fourth, but we kicked the PAT in the same situation in the third. Why not go for 2 in the third? Shaking my head. Yeah, because, you still got a lot of game left, and neither one of them hurt you. In the fourth, you got to go for it to get for the 3. Jason, I agree with what you're saying, but I can't see. This is back-to-back weeks. I know technically you can say the offense scored 42, but in back-to-back weeks, the offense scored 49 points and 42 points. Like, there comes a time where I just not going to come out here and rip on them offensively when you score that much. Play calling, yeah, you can question it and critique it, but I just, like, that's not on the forefront of my mind. On the forefront of my mind is, Pooh, can we go to complete game total team stats or scroll up for me if you don't mind? We gave up 527 yards today defensively. We gave up 527 yards. But here's the key. What do I say every single week in this hoe? Look at third down. Look at third down. If you want to know why you're able to win games, when you get off the field on third down, you win. And then you beat them by going 6 of 12. They went 5 of 13 on conversion downs. That wins you the game. It wins you the game. Thank you, Jason, for the super chat. Kareem says, Jayden Daniels' Heisman train has officially left the station. Pete Jenkins was a great hire. D-line made some great plays this week. Well, specifically in the second half, in the first half, they did do some different things. They moved the D-line around. They ran some different coverages. It didn't work. And then they went to in the second half, D linemen were more up on the ball. Mason Smith got the sack and got the rush. You play cover 2. You play cover 2 on the Perkins pick. Like, guys, that is cover 2. That is all day. And you won. So they found something that worked, and they only give up 14 in the second half. That is the story of the game. Jayden Daniels being a fucking superstar, and your defense giving up 14 points. That won you the game. That's it. That is it. And getting a pick 6. That's the entire game. Also, what really turned the game around, LSU did early in the third quarter. They got a 3-and-out. Jefferson had a tackle for loss. Mookie Cooper went for 6, a throwaway, and a punt. So this is 5 plays for LSU to take the lead. Y'all ready for it? LSU gets a 3-and-out. Jefferson for a tackle for loss. And by the way, we do not talk about negative plays enough. Like, we do not talk about negative plays enough. When you defensively generate negative plays, historically, even when your defense is outright booty cheeks, it usually just provides you the edge that you need to convert on third downs. Jordan Jefferson gets a tackle for loss in the backfield on Schrader for -2. Cooper gets 6. You have a throwaway punt. Diggs, so LSU gets the ball. Diggs gets a 3-yard run, and Brian Thomas Jr. is wide ass open on a post for a tutty. You take the lead. That's what happens when you make stops. This offense is way too good. Now, got to pray that Jayden stays healthy. He's got, my man's got to stay healthy. Biggie Bull says, yep, I played from 2015 to 2018 at the end of Les Miles and beginning of O. Well, what's your name, Biggie Bull? What's your name is? Thank you for the super chat. But yeah, thank you for joining the show. Guys, it's 3:15. I'm already drinking. Good whiskey, man. Good whiskey. Let's see. LSU offensively, 533 yards in the air. Just in total offense. 15 of 23. And even, God, dog. Look at the yards per pass. Even though you went 15 of 23, 11.3 yards per pass. Golly. That O-line was fucking cooking today, dog. 43 rushes, 274 yards, 6.4 yards per carry. She. If that's who that is. He was on the 19 team, though. Remember, he got suspended but I know what you're doing. You ain't funny. You ain't funny. All right. It was a good win. I thought it was a good win. Let's see. A couple of super chats here. Cody McGee says defense still concerns me, especially with us having Auburn next week. That's going to feel like an Ole Miss game, back and forth scoring. So, Cody, thank you for the super chat. I don't know about that. They can't throw the ball. Like, they are awful at throwing the football. Now, they can run the ball, and Hugh Freeze is going to dial some shit up. But, man, do I feel so much better about the next couple of weeks. Now, Auburn's always a close game. But you get to come home. The game is going to be at 6 or 6:30, whichever one ESPN dictates it to be on. Yeah, I know that Pooh's joking here. He says Auburn does not have the offense Grambling does. We're good. Hey, to some extent, he ain't lying. But to Cody's point, I'm going to throw a high take out there that nobody will probably agree with. They're going to be the best defense you've seen since Florida State. Defensively, they are pretty good. Yeah, it's hey, you ain't joking. You had no business joking. Shit. They can't throw the ball. But it does sit up for this though. God willing, you beat Missouri today. You got Auburn, and who's after that? Florida? Right? In Florida after Auburn. You have a couple of games that are very winnable. Then you have Army, and then you go into the bye week. Auburn, Army. Okay. So Auburn and then Army. Guys, you're staring down the barrel of 6-2. Right? Like you're staring down the barrel of 6-2 with hopefully and potentially one loss in the SEC, or just in the SEC, you could easily go into Tuscaloosa, which, Pooh, what's the score of that game? You could easily go into Tuscaloosa, gearing yourself up. Now, depending on what happens today, you know, I can't, I'm not watching the game. Maybe I should be. Depending on what happens between A&M and Alabama, you never know. You never know. Let me make sure that this is paused or muted. Looks like Alabama just scored, so it's 9-3. There you go. Jalen Milroe just threw an up and out for a tutty. Yeah, he just threw a long bomb for a tutty. So it's 10-3 Alabama. Could easily go into Tuscaloosa with the SEC West on the line. You got a lot to play for. Cole Harville says, by the way, when you moaned, I was an Exxon and got stared at a little awkwardly. Well, Cole, thank you for the super chat. But I knew that the sexy red comment was going to come back to bite me in the ass. But more than biting me in the ass, speaking of ass, she's sexy red sounds like a beached whale. Sounds like a damn llama. You ain't sexy enough to be sounding like that. You know what I mean? You're not. You're not. All right. Brian Kelly seems to be a little excited, and he should be in his postgame. He should be. He has no business other than to be. But look, the bottom line, and we'll talk about this all leading up into next week against Auburn. Your quarterback, man. What did the receivers wind up going? I know Brian Thomas had a score, but what did the receivers wind up doing? What did the receiving look like? All right, so Jayden Daniels, 15-21, 259 and 3 scores. Malik Neighbors, 6 catches, 146 yards and a touchdown. Brian Thomas Jr. Bruh, hold on. Can we talk about something for just a second? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different dudes called passes. Only 4. Mason Taylor, Kyron Lacey, Brian Thomas, and Malik Neighbors. Jayden is not looking in anybody's other general direction. And with that, their average is 17.3 yards per catch. Like that, even when they don't come out and throw the ball all over the place, okay, they're still going nuclear. God bless it. Now, what did Luther Burton do? I went in the 11. He does believe in Kyron Lacey. I'll give him that. Fucking Luther Burton, dude. 11 catches, 149 yards. He didn't score, though. I mean, dude, Luther Burton and Malik are both first round picks. I thought Theo Weiss had a good game. Took the air. You know what's so bad about this? I don't know what you continue to do. Yeah, Burton. See, and that's another thing. So Pooh brings this up. He said Burton had 110 yards in the first half too, which would mean, obviously, he only had 39 yards in the second half. I don't want to say this defense turned the edge a little, like turned a corner to any kind of extent. I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. But I do think that it does make me feel good that you can make some stops against a good offensive team. You just got to continue to run what you're running and mix things up. Max Johnson just hit a massive one to Smith. That game's about to be a shootout, dude. Daniel Edwards says, Blake, are we just young in the secondary? Fuck no. He says, is that the problem on defense? No. Daniel, I think the problem defensively is that you're trying to run something that is – this is me personally. You're trying – here, let's take the gloves off. Fuck it. It doesn't matter. You gave up 1,200 yards in 2 weeks. Personally, I think that you have no idea. Like what House is trying to run is so outdated. Like why did LSU have success in the second half? Let me tell you why. They ran a basic cover 2, man-to-man cover 3. That was the 3 coverages that they ran, and they rotated it. Why Missouri did not pick up on their rotation, I have no idea. Then you went to a 4-down defensive line, which I'm going to count Braden Swinson, which we need to talk about Braden Swinson. Braden Swinson was the dude that was just staying up on the edge. He did not go in coverage, and you went to a more traditional 4-man look. You let Harold play a big nickel safety and would send him on blitzes, but I don't know. And I don't really know their game plan for him. But today, I mean, he did come away with the pick, and he looked good in coverage, but you're going to have to continue to mix these things up. You're going to have to send Perk on some more blitzes. And I just really believe, and you're not young in the secondary. Major Burns is a redshirted junior, right? COVID year junior. Andre Sam has been there for 7 years. Sage Ryan has been here for 3 years. Zy Alexander's played a lot of football. No, not SEC football, but he's played a lot of football. Denver Harris did not play today, to my understanding. Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Can I tell y'all something crazy? In the second half, Sage Ryan at times was playing the boundary corner. Name a time in the second half that Sage Ryan gave up a massive catch. Pooh, am I wrong in that? Do you remember in the second half Sage Ryan getting beat? Because he was playing the boundary, and I sure as shit don't remember it. They attacked the middle of the field, and you're not young. Greg Penn is a third year dude. I mean, you got experience everywhere, man. You got experience everywhere. Brian Kelly saying we're playing young guys. Well, yeah, you took out Andre Sam on legit passing downs for Ryan Yates because Ryan Yates is your only hope. Like, if I'm Deshaun McBride, if I'm Joel Rogers, if I'm Jawan Johnson, I'm licking my chops to get to college. Like, I have no clue. I'm being serious when I say this. I have zero clue how you keep Deshaun McBride from Denham Springs off the field next year. No clue. At safety, I have no clue. He's the best ball guy. He could be the guy as a freshman that comes in here kind of like Grant Delpin and has 4 picks, and you're like, this dude's all over the place, because he will be. I agree with this. We talked about this week. Pooh says once we get man-to-man, we got more pressure. Yeah, you know why? Because you're knocking dudes off the ball, and you disguised it well. There were times that LSU was going man-to-man, getting guys off the ball, and we're running at cover 2. If they say that they weren't running cover 2, they're full of shit. I'm telling you what I saw. I know what I saw. Horse shit. But it's crazy when you get guys off the ball and off their timing. Cody McGee says, is your buddy Joe crying over Texas? And hell no, he hates Texas. Yeah, he hates Texas. Which reminds me, I need to probably send a text message to my Texas buddies RESPCT. Find out what that means to me. Yeah, my Texas buddies were talking massive shit last week. You know what's interesting? I can't put it on here because we get in trouble. Bro, when LSU was leaving the field, players are coming up to Brian Kelly and hugging him. Harold Perkins, Jacoby and Guillory. Sounds like Brian Kelly just says to Harold Perkins says, Coach, hold on. Let me listen to this. Brian Kelly says, I fucking love you, man. Jots Doucette has the video. He says, I fucking love you, man. That was fantastic defense. He says, I love you, Coach. Maybe you start changing something. Maybe you do start changing something. Who knows? All right. Against my better judgment, we're about 45 minutes in. We've been doing it every week. Y'all don't make me regret this shit now. Hold on. Let's get this shit pulled up. Let's see here. We'll start taking some phone calls. We'll start taking some phone calls here. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387. Charlotte, hold on, leave this right here, Pooh. Charlotte says, did you see the kiss he gave JD5 and it landed on his ear? Hell yeah, I'd be kissing Jayden too. Shit. Pause. I would be too. Shit. All right, you can call into the postgame show. 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all of those social media groups. Share to all those social media pages. As always, this postgame show is brought to you by our good friends over at Betonline. That's Betonline.ag. Kevin says, these kids love BK. Some of you get through your head that BK ain't going anywhere. He's here. Get used to it. That's true. It's true. Deshaun Womack got some more playing time this week. And couldn't get home. He couldn't get home. So I know there was a lot of clamoring for that, but he couldn't get home when he was in there. So you just gotta continue to play him. But Braden Swinson did. And that was a massive sack. That sack won you the game too. From Braden Swinson. All right, we're getting a phone call. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to here tonight?
My name is Eli Soto from Weatherford, Oklahoma.
All right, who is this? We couldn't hear your name.
Name is Eli Soto from Weatherford, Oklahoma.
All right, what's up, Eli from Oklahoma? What'd you think of the game?
Man, not gonna lie, I was kind of pissed the first half. I just turned it off. I just saw Mizzou just run up and down the field, just kicking their ass. I turned it off. Left. Saw it was 17-25. Came back. Surprised that they even won. Not gonna lie. But I think they're starting to win, little by little.
Well, you got to pray, that Jayden Daniels continues to play the way that he's playing. Because
that reminds me. Terrible fucking officiating. Terrible.
I agree.
Why are they not calling all the late hits? That just pissed me off.
Well, I don't know. Do you flag the guy there in the end zone for trying to bring Jayden down?
Well, more than anything, in the end zone, yes. Chuck whatever his name was, I think you flag him because there was a lot of unsportsmanlike conduct versus to Mizzou. Just a lot of BS going on. But hey, they lost. Doesn't matter now.
Yeah, I mean, second half. What did you think of the second half? You said you watched the first half. What did you think of the second half?
Second half, great. They finally started turning up a little bit. And Mason Smith, I was honestly happy at that face mask. I did not care one bit.
That's bad officiating, though. Thank you for the call.
It was.
Appreciate it.
But they also did mess up on the false start that they had.
I agree. Thank you so much for the phone call. All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino and AYS. This is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to here today?
How you doing, Blake? This is Cornell, man.
What up, Cornell? Hey, Cornell, you sound like you should be on an R&B album.
All right. I appreciate it, Blake. Listen.
All right, Cornell, hit me with it. What happened?
You always been on JD5 side, you hear me? And this is what I call to say, bro. We win by 10, but let's not pretend like this dude didn't go 95 yards with the hurt rib to put us up, bro.
He did 95 yards in 3.5 minutes for a tutty. The long 35-yard run sends us to winning into this game. I think Cornell, personally, I think he's the best player in college football, personally.
JD5?
Oh, we must have ended the call. Sorry, Cornell.
No. Hello?
Who is this?
Tasha Thibodeau.
What's up, Miss Tasha?
How you doing?
Doing good.
Well,
How
I got
are you?
A question. I'm wonderful. JD5 is the best player in college football, and Pete Jenkins was a wonderful hire.
I agree. Hey.
Yes.
Should Jayden win the Heisman?
Hell yeah. Come on. He's doing the best there is in college football right now. Just carrying the Tigers. We coming together, but JD5 for Heisman. Come on, slap it up.
I agree. What did you think of the entire game as a whole, Ms. Tasha?
Oh my God. Just continue to be impressed with the defense. Can't believe that hit Jayden took and came back. Lots of work to do with the defense. Offense is killing it. Just praying for our Tigers to get through this season. Tigers all the way regardless. Win, lose, or draw. It is what it is.
I agree. Now I'm gonna let you plug your group here. Tell everybody where they should go.
The Real LSU Nation. Not to be phony, not to be fake. The Real LSU Nation. On Facebook. Come on, y'all. Come see us.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tasha.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, thank
Bye.
you too. That's Ms. Tasha Thibodeau. Y'all need to go over there to that group. The Real LSU Nation is fantastic. I don't know, it threw me off a little bit because I was talking to Cornell and then Ms. Tasha came in. But yeah, it's a fantastic group. Game ball went to Jayden Daniels because he's a fucking beast. You're on the phone with AYS. This is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to here today?
This is Terry Jackson.
What up, Perry?
How you doing?
Shit, just glad we got this win. What about you?
Hell yeah, I'm glad we got this win.
What do you think of the game, Perry?
It was good. Offense was great. Jayden Daniels definitely is showing case in a real case on his Heisman run. But our defense got to be better, man. We got to be better situational. We got to stop something. I don't care if it's a run, a pass. We got to be good at something. I feel like we're not good at nothing right now on defense.
Here's the question, okay? Because after LSU went down 22-7, and Harold Perkins got the pick. This is what LSU did after the pick. They scored 42 points and only gave up 17. Now, if you can play defense, so here's the question. Can you play defense like that? Because if you give up 14 points in a second half and you're giving up 28 points in a total game with this offense, you're going to win a lot of football games.
You can. You definitely can. Well, Mizzou, if they controlled that clock more with the run game like they was, I feel like we would be in a different situation. But I just think situationally we need to be better. It's not the whole entirety of the defense and the calls and what they was doing. But I think situations, we definitely need to be better.
Yeah, I'm going to bring
Give
up
us a
Alan
lot of big
Jackson's
plays.
comment here. What did you think of Logan Diggs' performance?
I think Logan was solid for us. I think he was solid. He got the yards that needed to happen. I think Logan actually was really solid for us. He did what he needed to do. It wasn't nothing spectacular. I think Jayden really, them together made our offense push where it needs to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they had to respect him coming down the middle and Jayden keeping it. The RPO game is amazing to me. On the offensive call I didn't like when we gave the ball back at the end of the game. I feel like we should have kept it spread and bring less people in the box so we can still do our same. Still be aggressive. Don't be too. We don't do good when we're not being aggressive.
Yeah, and Pooh Bear brings this up, says Logan was the first running back to get over 100 this year. I think he's the only running back to get over 100, period. Right?
Yeah, literally.
He's doing fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the phone
solid.
call.
Thank you.
You're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to here today?
Hey, Blake, this is Ben.
Hey, Penn or Ben?
TJ, Ben.
What's up, Penn?
I really saw the effect of Pete Jenkins with a four-man front, more of a traditional four-man front, and actually making corrections during the game with the line, D-line, especially in the second half.
I agree. I think in the second half, they look better. You got the sack from Mason Smith. You got the sack from Braden Swinson that pretty much locked down a win for you to some extent. The D-line looked good in the second half.
Now I think we just need to talk Honey Badger into retiring and coming to LSU as a DB coach.
Yeah, we're not good there. Yeah, we're not good there. But you know what, Penn? I agree with the previous caller. We still are getting gashed in the running game, which cannot happen.
Well, we got to continue. We got to be aggressive on the D-line. I agree, but a lot of that's your linebackers not coming in and filling them holes.
They are not. And look, I like Will Weeks more than anybody, Penn, but he's not getting it done right now. I mean, here it's the truth. I mean, he's getting pushed around, and if that can, like, look, next week you got a team that all they're gonna want to do is run. The next 2 weeks, Penn. Here's the good thing for this defense. You ready? The next 2 weeks, nobody is gonna want to throw the football. They can't throw the football. So you got two teams that are not going to want to throw the football that can help you a little bit, but they're going to run the ball, want to try to run the ball all over you.
I honestly think we need to go back to getting some of our middle linebackers in the 240 range, your big body middle linebackers to fill in gaps.
Ooh. That's big dudes now.
But that's what, if you even look at Alabama, when they were so effective on defense, with those middle linebackers, that's in the range they were in. You
know what? Whatever the height and size of the linebackers at Georgia is what I want.
They're in that 235, 240 range.
Well, then go get them. Thank you for the call, Penn.
All right.
And you can call in 225-435-9387. 225-435-9387. We'll take some more phone calls here. For you. Sorry to Cornell. Yeah, I did cut Cornell off. I feel bad about that. That's my fault. Florida is tied 7-7. Ball. Oh, if old Vandy can, man. Bro, can I tell y'all something? Do you know how big of an asshole I'm going to be if Vandy beats their ass in back-to-back years? Woo. Ball. All right, 225-435-9387. We have any more super chats up here? Josh Chapman says need to play another safety in the box on third down. I kind of agree with that to some extent. All right, you're on the phone. You know this is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Hey, what's going on, man? This is JC from South Carolina.
What's up, JC from South Carolina? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. I think we need to put another safety down in the box instead of putting Penn in, because we're leaving a slot open every single time, and that's why we're getting gassed with the slants across the middle and the outside outlet passes every time. We're going to play a cover 2 man. We need to add another safety down, or maybe play 3 safeties on the field at one time. Keep Weeks and Perkins in as well.
Now, let me ask you this question. I'm going to ask you a stupid question. Isn't that technically what Harold Perkins is supposed to be from all technicalities?
Yeah, we're turning him into a cornerback instead of a linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter what you put next to his name. I mean, I don't know what you call him at this point, but I agree. I mean, you got to switch off. But, I mean, look, whatever you did in the second half – defensively, I do it again. I keep running that bitch.
But did you see they put Penn on Burton? They're putting Penn in compromising situations because he should not. No way in hell he should be guarding a slot defender. In a lot of those passes, I think we could get off the field on third down. We just maybe need to remove a linebacker, maybe play Perkins right in the middle and add another cornerback or 2 to the lineup and play on those third down plays so we can get them off the field.
Well, JC, I agree with you. Now, I don't know if this is your super chat or not. Need to play another safety in the box on to help on third down. Maybe that is. I agree. You know, but I don't understand what they were trying to do with Luther Burden in the entire first half. I mean, they put Andre Sam on him and said, "Hey, safety, go try to cover Luther Burden." Like it seemed like we didn't even have a game plan for Luther.
Yeah, and I think putting if you put Major Burns closer to the line of scrimmage, as you notice, he plays better in short area. He has short area quickness. If you put him in a deep field, he cannot recover fast enough because of his footwork. So if you remove Ryan Yates in, Major Burns down into the box along with Weeks and Perkins, that should solve a lot of problems.
It definitely could. Thank you so much for the phone call, JC.
All right, man.
All right, that's JC. I don't disagree with him. Michael Morris says, I know they gave up over 500 yards this week, but the biggest unmeasurable thing that I saw them improve on was that they played like they gave a shit this week, unlike last week. I agree, especially in the second half. In the second half, they came out playing like they gave a fuck. I agree. 1,000% agree. 1,000% agree. Can't take that away from them, man. You can't take that away from them. So, yeah. All right, 225-435-9387. All right, you're on the air. You know, this is the AYS postgame show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
And LSU Green, Mobile, Alabama.
The 251 is in the building. Let me make sure.
In the building.
Are you related to Henry Pooh?
Why are you doing it like that, Blake?
Well, y'all both from Mobile. I don't know.
No.
All right.
Who been gone, man? Hey, wait. I'm actually from Louisiana.
Not all black people.
That's low down. That's low down.
Right,
that's low down.
What did you think of the game?
Man, wait. It's not about the game. I want to know about 10. Why? Where was he? I ain't see. I've been trying to shoot him. For real? What happened, Blake? You enlighten me. Let me know. I'm gonna hang up and listen. I ain't hear you been talking about it all week. About.
Here's the truth. You ready for the truth?
Go.
He has more passes completed on him than anybody at the boundary.
Wow.
I mean,
Blake. Wow, Blake. I got a question, Blake. I listen to everybody that deals with LSU. You know, T-Bot. Everybody that's say something about y'all LSU. Right? Carter. Everybody. I feel kind of on the outside because I don't know if I overstep my boundaries when I ask y'all about another person. Let's say, I know you and Carter pretty good.
Don't get me in
right?
trouble now.
Well, I'm not. I don't want to get in trouble because I call other shows that deal with LSU. And when I mention, for instance, like you and Carter cool, if I say, well, Blake, I was listening to Carter yesterday, and you might say something like, yeah, but you and him not on eye to eye together, if that makes sense.
What are you trying? What you trying to get at now?
I don't want to. Like, I listen to other people, right, that deal with LSU,
okay,
and they say certain things. Oh, this guy needs to do this. Then I listen to you, and you be like, what you just told me about 10, I don't hear that nowhere else. I hear, "Ooh, he's the best corner on LSU. Why wouldn't you play him?" I hear that. And I don't want to mention their name for you to look at me some type of way and be like, "Man, I don't talk to that guy. Don't mention his name." You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm getting at, Blake, man.
Here's the honest question. Has he looked good?
Go ahead. No.
Okay. So if you take the bias out of it, has he looked good? No. Okay.
Correct.
Who on the boundary looked like shit today?
Every boy, 2-4.
I mean, on one throw, yes, but 2-4 didn't play that bad.
But he looked like he looked like trash to me.
Yeah. I mean, but here's another thing.
Go.
What would Luther have done to him?
Didn't bad. Well, 14 looked at the wide. Just like you said, they didn't even have look like they had a game plan.
14's a safety. Now let me tell you something that is going to sound stupid as hell. You ready?
Go ahead.
I'd put Denver Harris at safety for Andre Sam. I put your 5 best DBs out there. I know he's a boundary corner. I get it. I know he's a press man. But you know what? If he can cover, he can cover. If you're going to run this type of defense where your safety's man-to-man, why are you putting Andre Sam man-to-man on Luther Burden?
True. And that'll help us out in the long run. That makes sense.
I know it sounds stupid. But
it don't sound stupid. No, it don't. Blake, don't think you sound I'm talking to you. You talking to me. I don't think that sounds stupid because he's a corner and you put the best guy on the corner, it's like, dang, I got a chance as a defense. But you got a best receiver and a safety on him. People be like, "Oh, my safety can beat him." So that makes plenty of sense. I understand. That make a lot of sense to me.
The only safety in the country that could stop Luther Burden is Luther Burden. Thank you, LSU Green.
All right, man.
All right. 251 people, man. You gotta love them. All right, you're on the phone with another 251 phone number. You're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Hey, what's up, big dog? This is Jonah from Birmingham.
What? But you got a 251 area code.
Well, I live in Birmingham. I'm from Mobile.
Shit. Do you know producer Pooh Bear?
Yeah, I do.
All right. What you think of the game?
I mean, it was good. It was good to the most part. I ain't like the refs though.
Yeah, they were booty cheeks.
The hits. And I kind of almost threw my phone in my TV seeing Jayden get hit like that. Because he the heart and soul of the team. You feel me? And taking those hits, it showed though. I think that's a big reason why our defense kind of stepped up. Taking those hits. That's what I feel like. But my point that I want to get at is looking at last week and then this week. It was a major turnaround. But if you look at the remainder of the schedule, I want to ask you this: what other offense do we really see like Ole Miss and Missouri, coming up these next few weeks, or the remainder of the schedule period?
I mean, listen. I'm just going to tell you this. I have not watched the first half against A&M and Bama because I've been doing the show.
Right.
But I'm just going to tell you, I know the score is 10-10 and A&M's at the 20-yard line, okay?
Mm-hmm.
A&M can run it down your throat, dog, and they're going to continue to run it down your throat. So,
I mean, but then again, we got 2 practice games coming up with Auburn and Army. With actually, them teams running the ball. So do you think that'll be a big help, going
massive help
past those 2?
Massive help.
Yeah,
because your secondary is not having to be taxed as much. But here's the problem. What if Peyton Thorne goes out there next week and looks like Joe Theismann?
Well, he did look he didn't make too many bad throws against Georgia too. So
no, he didn't. And that secondary is elite. Elite.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, thank you for the phone call, my man.
Appreciate it.
All right, you're on the phone with Blake Ruffino. This is the AYS Postgame Show. Who do we have the pleasure of talking to?
Hey, Blake, this is Chris.
What's up, Chris?
Hey, man. So what I've been seeing is in the defensive backfield to me is more coaching than anything because the defenders are there a lot of times in coverage, but they don't get their head around on the ball. The only chance they have at a pass break is if it hits them in the back of the helmet.
Well, then that's on the player.
Well, I mean,
Because
are they being taught?
You can't convince me that Robert Steeples is not telling them to get their head turned around, because I've been at practice during the offseason where he's begging them, yelling at him, screaming at him to do it.
But it's all of them, so I just don't understand it or what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at some point, it's got to go on the player.
All right, that was just my input on it. It seems like every game they're there in defense, but they're just not getting their head around on the ball, and the receivers are making the plays.
That's on the receiver.
No chance.
You know what I mean? Because at some point, like, are we going to really come in here and say Steeples didn't tell him to do that? You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I've been there watching him do it. I've been at practice when he told Denver Harris to get your head around, and he just smacked his lips.
All right, Blake. Thanks for the input.
Thank you. All right. No more phone calls. We got some more games we need to go watch. Pooh Bear, always fantastic on the 1s and 2s. We will see you guys again tomorrow or Monday. Till then, y'all have a good one. Peace.